All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash, Barakatham. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that rule well, and a salute and a shalom to all the Akim that are out to labor pushing this truth in all sincerity and in truth. One of the Akim asked ChatGPT a question. Not sure what the question was, but section 2 of the answer that the brother got, and the brother shared it in the group chat on WhatsApp, titled it's not sure of the title yet. It's going to be titled The Importance of the Hebrew and Your Identity, right? It says Hebrew as a people, ancient identity. It says in ancient context, Hebrew refers to the early, it says, Semitic people who were ancestors of the Israelites. The term appears in the book of Genesis, often associated with Abraham, who was sometimes called Abram the Hebrew, may derive from the name Eber, a biblical ancestor, or from the root meaning to cross over, right? Now, I asked ChatGPT a question. Hold on real quick. Let's get. I asked ChatGPT a question. Importance of the Hebrew. Identity, I think I asked. Let's see. That's not, well, the importance of the Hebrew. All right, man, because Hebrew comes from Ibar, okay? The word Hebrew is Ibar, okay? Now, Eber's name is what? Ibar, right? And Ibar means what? Well, Eber. Let's see. Eber. Eber, right? It says, this is Genesis 10 and 24. It says, and Arphaxad begot Salah, and Salah begot Eber, right? Eber. Eber says from the region, it says the region beyond, right? Now, Now, so IUIC, they don't call themselves Hebrew Israelites. They just call themselves Israelites, right? So now we understand why they don't want to be called Hebrew Israelites, right? They don't want the term Hebrew. They just want Israelites. When Hebrew is not only a language, it's an identity, man. And your Hebrew identity reminds you of what? The ancient way, man, the ancient path. All right, man, because the Elder Yashawamba always mentions how Eber, he kept the ancient way, right? He kept what? The Ibar, the holy tongue. Now, I'm gonna pause this real quick. Hold on real quick. Okay. I typed in the importance of Hebrew, right? It says culture. It says the cultural and identity importance. Hebrew connects people to ancient history, shared traditions, collective memory. See? So, being called what? A Hebrew Israelite, right? It reminds you of what? Of the ancient way, man. It reminds you of the ancient path. All right, man? The same ancient path that Eber kept. See? Now, let me see something real quick. Because it says what? Jeremiah 6:16. It says, "Thus saith Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah, stand ye in the ways, and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein." See, man? So now we understand why IUIC, why they have an issue with what the scriptures say. They have an issue with the law. They have an issue with what thus saith Yahweh Bashem Shah. Because they don't like the ancient way, man. IUIC don't like the ancient way, man. They don't like the ancient path. Because that makes them what, man? That makes them uncomfortable. How are you going to be uncomfortable with your own culture, man? How are you going to be ashamed and uncomfortable with the ancient way that you used to keep? Hold on real quick. Now, I asked ChatGPT this. I asked, is Hebrew more than a language? It says yes. Hebrew is widely understood as more than just a language, especially within Israelite history and culture, a sacred language. Hebrew is the language of the Tanakh and traditional Israelite prayer. Because sacred texts are read and recited in Hebrew, it is often called Lashawan HaKodash, the Holy Tongue. For many believers, Hebrew is not just a tool for communication. It is the language through which divine revelation was expressed. A carrier of identity. For centuries, uh, 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 well, Ish communities lived across Europe, North Africa, blah, 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 blah. Yet Hebrew will remain, right? The shared language of Scripture, a symbol of common ancestry, a link to ancient Israel. All right, man? So Hebrew is more than a language, man. It's an identity, man. See some real quick. All right. It says, I asked, the importance of identity in the ancient world. The importance of identity in the ancient world was central to survival, belonging, power, and religion. Unlike today, where identity is often seen as personal or individual, in the ancient world, identity was primarily collective. It says identity as survival. In ancient societies, your identity determined who protected you, where you lived, what rights you had, whether you were free or enslaved. It says in many cultures, identity was rooted in genealogy and tribe. In the Hebrew Bible, the Tanakh, long genealogies appear because ancestry determined land inheritance, tribal affiliation, religious duties. For example, a descent from the tribe of Levi meant priestly responsibilities in ancient Israel. In ancient Israel, with religion and identity. Religion and identity were inseparable. In ancient Israel, belonging to the covenant community defined one's identity, right? Ethnic and cultural boundaries. Ancient society strongly distinguished between us and them. Greeks called non-Greeks barbarians. Israelites distinguished themselves from surrounding nations. Honor and reputation. In many ancient cultures, identity was tied to honor and shame. A person's actions affected not just themselves, but their entire family or tribe. Public reputation mattered more than private self-expression. See, man? So Hebrew is more than just a language, man. It is an identity, man. Because being called Hold on. It say Eber is important not because of recorded actions, but because of his role as an ancestral link to the biblical narrative as a possible namesake of the Hebrew people. Right, man? But Eber kept the ancient way, man. He preserved the language. So how are you going to call yourself just an Israelite, but not a Hebrew Israelite? Because IUIC, are you all the seed of Abraham? Don't you all come from Abraham? Aren't you all? IUIC, aren't you all the seed of Abraham? Let's see. This is Psalms 105:6. O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen. Isaiah 40:81. But thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. Now, this is Romans 4:13. For the promise that he should be the heir of the world was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law, but through the righteousness of faith. It says this. This is 2 Corinthians 11:22. Are they Hebrew? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I. So even the Apostle Paul said, are they Hebrews? I am also a Hebrew. Are they Israelites? I am also an Israelite. Are they the seed of Abraham? I am as well. All right, man. So IUIC, they don't want to be tied to a righteous legacy, man. They don't want to be tied to being called Hebrew Israelites, man. They just want to be called Israelites. Come on, man. So once again, IUIC, are you all not the seed of Abraham? Because it's Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? Hold on real quick. Now, I typed this in. Was Isaac ever called a Hebrew? Yes, Isaac is considered a Hebrew. He is one of the three foundational patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, of the Hebrew people, as the son of Abraham, who is explicitly called the Hebrew in Genesis. The father of Jacob, later named Israel. Isaac is central to the lineage, though the Bible more frequently identifies him by name rather than the title Hebrew. the Hebrew. So, IUIC, you do know Isaac is considered a Hebrew. His father is Abraham. Abraham the Hebrew. Abram the Hebrew. Come on, man. It says the term Hebrew, the term is associated with descending from Eber, or meaning one who crossed over, as Abraham did. Come on, man. All right, man. So with that, I say shalom.